You ever thought about what a guy really gives when he's with someone? It ain't just his body or some act. Nah, it's deeper. He's giving his soul without even knowing it. A soul that's starving for love, for someone to say, "You're enough," for that moment of being truly wanted. But it hides behind lust, desire, or some macho vibe. It's not just skin on skin. There's something bigger flowing beneath. At his core, a man doesn't just want sex. He wants to be seen, to be felt, to be whole, even with all his cracks. When a guy goes all in, it's not about chasing pleasure. It's about chasing the love he never got. Looks physical, but it's soul. Deep. Looks like lust, but it's old wounds dressed up as strength. Real intimacy. It rips through the fake show and shows the raw, fragile truth under the armor. That's when Jung's ideas hit hard. The body's like a map, the shadows like a mirror, but only someone bold enough to cut through the mask sees it. Jung didn't see desire as just instinct. To him, intimacy was a bridge between your conscious and unconscious worlds. He said every intimate moment shows more than you think. Desire doesn't start in the body, it's born in your mind. Every move, every urge, it's tied to something buried deep. Sex is a trade, of energy, of shadows, of what you're really after. But if the wrong person steps into your life, what could have been magic turns into a drain. Body, heart, and soul. This video's gonna break down why so many guys feel hollow after sex. That tiredness, it's not just physical. It's your soul saying you gave too much for too little. The female body's sacred, but so is yours. When two souls collide without real awareness, it's chaos. You're not just hooking up, you're opening doors, and not every door leads somewhere safe. As this unfolds, you'll start seeing what's always been there, but no one taught you how to read it. When a man truly opens up in intimacy, he's not just showing his body, he's bearing his soul, his fear of being rejected, the doubts he hides with swagger, the weight of a past he doesn't talk about. Real intimacy ain't about sex. It's about being emotionally naked. In that quiet moment, that pause between touches, you see the kid inside who just wanted love without jumping through hoops. And that's scarier than any physical exposure. How many guys hold it together on the outside while they're breaking inside? The tough guy, mask doesn't crack with shouting. It melts in silence. A single touch can bring back old pain. A small move can show a scar he never knew how to name. Jung said the unconscious is always talking, and in intimacy, it's screaming. Your body's the stage where your soul plays out its hidden hurt. That's why some guys pull back when things get too real. Getting close means facing that emotional mirror, and not everyone's ready to see themselves clearly. The fall of that strong man vibe doesn't start with some big drama. It starts with a touch that sneaks past the armor. And when that happens, something wakes up, but that's just the start. Most guys grow up thinking pleasing someone is about skill, like it's a show. Do it right, impress her, prove you're enough, but real desire, the kind that hits your soul, goes way deeper. Giving pleasure can be sacred, a way to touch that part of you the world told you to bury. Deep down, every guy's got a soft side, the one he was taught to hide. Jung called it the feminine in a man. And here's the wild part. When a guy truly lets go in intimacy, he's not just touching her. He's touching that hidden part of himself. Sacred pleasure isn't about being in control. It's about being fully. Your body becomes a mirror, showing you without the mask. In that moment, something real wakes up, something no act can fake. That's when desire stops being just physical and becomes soul. But for a lot of guys, that feels too risky. They say they want love, but deep down, they're chasing approval. Desire isn't just about connecting. It's tied to old voids that need to finally feel chosen. Like the kid inside is waiting for someone to say, "I see you, you're enough." And that's where the trap kicks in. When you need love more than you love yourself, you start losing who you are. You bend, you shift, you give up pieces of your soul for scraps of acceptance. You know that guy, the one who's always there, always kind, but still gets overlooked. He's not wrong, he's stuck in a loop. Being too nice is often just pain pretending to be good. He's not loving, he's begging for love through what he does. And then comes the dark twist. He expects her to fix him, to fill that hole in his heart. But that never works. It takes guts to look inside and ask, what am I trying to prove? Sometimes, trying to be the perfect partner is just a cover for a broken sense of self. When a guy gets that, he starts dropping the act. He finds his real presence, the part that doesn't need to be perfect to be loved. But to get there, he's gotta face his shadow, and that's when everything changes. Jung dropped a truth bomb. What you don't face inside shows up in your life like fate. That's what happens to so many guys. They think they're choosing, but they're just replaying old pain. The shadow, that hidden, wounded part, takes over without them noticing. So every relationship feels like the same old story. Intimacy feels like a battlefield, not because she's toxic, but because his wounds are still raw. He walks in with a strong mask, but inside, he's crumbling. He looks to her to fix the emptiness he hasn't healed. In that fight, your body's either a wall or a bridge. It depends on whether you see emotional vulnerability as a threat or a chance to grow. The shadow isn't what you hate, it's what you hide from yourself. That fear of looking weak, that panic of being rejected, that quiet need for approval, it's all there waiting to come up. And where does it show? In a touch that brings back memories, in the mirror of intimacy, in choices that feel random but aren't. Every guy, at some point, projects onto her what he hasn't faced in himself. He makes her everything: lover, mom, best friend, savior. But the issue isn't loving. It's expecting her to fill his voids. That's not love. It's the shadow throwing out old pain, a ghost of love he never had. And that almost always ends in disappointment. When you put someone on a pedestal, you're not seeing them. You're seeing your own hurt. That dream becomes a cage, one mistake, and it all falls apart. The guy who once saw her as perfect now feels bitter. Desire turns to resentment. All because he tried to find outside what he needed to wake up inside, his raw, real self. In that frantic search to feel whole, so many guys lose themselves. They mix up intensity with love, emptiness with connection, presence with rescue. But no woman, no matter how amazing, can be the perfect mirror for a guy who hasn't faced himself. The real mirror starts inside. Looking at that raw truth takes courage most guys don't have, but that courage is the key to what's next. Most men spend their lives waiting for validation, a kind word, a choice, a touch that says you're enough. But here's the hard truth: that validation doesn't stick because it's from outside, and anything from outside fades. Healing starts when a guy realizes he doesn't need to beg for love, that thirst to be chosen. It only calms down when he chooses himself. Self-awareness isn't some book smarts, it's a real, raw practice. Look inside, listen to the quiet, face the void without running. That's where the real masculine strength kicks in. Intimacy stops being a show and becomes a truth mirror. Desire, when it comes from within, doesn't beg, it invites. It flows, it's your soul speaking. That's when sex turns into a ritual, not an escape, but a homecoming. Sacred pleasure comes from fullness, not lack. The shadow turns into wisdom, silence into strength. But to get there, a guy's gotta break through his ego and peel off the tough Gaia masks. And in that journey, he finds what the world tried to hide, his real human heart. Not every woman deserves your body, let alone your energy. Sex, when you're not awake, becomes a channel that can drain your life force without you even noticing. Some women carry their own wounds, their chaos, their disconnection. When you merge with that, it pulls at your clarity, your strength, your focus. You walk away emptier than before, thinking it was just fun. Her past, her emotional baggage, her unresolved pain. It's all in her energy. And sex is the door where that enters your life, no permission needed. You're not just with her body, you're mixing with her trauma, her demons. If you're not aware, that mix becomes toxic. You start feeling drained, lost, confused, and you don't even know why. That kind of intimacy is an invisible trade, and it hits hard. All the muscles, fake confidence, or spiritual quotes in the world mean nothing if you keep giving yourself to chaos. It takes real discernment, real presence to choose better. As long as you keep throwing yourself at anyone to quiet your own voids, your soul's gonna stay broken. One day it might not come back. So real talk. How many times did you give yourself to someone thinking it was just desire, but left feeling more lost? How many times did you mix up pleasure with connection and gave your energy to someone who couldn't even handle their own? That answer might sting, but it could set you free. You can't say you didn't know anymore. Sex isn't a game, it's a ritual. Your body's a map. Every choice you make either builds you up or buries you deeper. So, what's it gonna be? Keep giving all of you to someone who only takes a piece? Or start demanding a connection that matches your soul? If this hit you, drop a comment with what spoke to you. Share this with the guys who are still sleepwalking. Subscribe, because this isn't just about sex. It's about who you are when no one's looking. No more masks, just you.